Hello, dear AP students. This has been fun. I've spent the last 2 days trying to put things online for you and for my other classes, so here we are. I hope you're doing really well. I definitely miss you. I did not become a teacher so that I could put stuff online and record myself because that's not super fun. I do miss you guys. I'm looking forward to things being better. But in the meantime, we have a plan. So on Friday, if you were here, we checked out copies of the play Hamlet, which we may still get to, but for now I've decided to wait on that, and we are going to do independent reading instead. So pretty familiar with that. It's not changed vastly from the way we did it previous trimesters, just obviously had to accommodate our online situation. So the first thing that you need to do for this is select and obtain a book. You need to review the prompts and book choices, so that is on Canvas in Files, and then AP Lit Independent Reading Prompts 1920 is this version. It says PDFs, and I'll explain why in a moment. You need to select a prompt and a book you've not yet used. You don't have to worry about if you use one of the prompts for All the Light. That doesn't count against you for this, so if you haven't done the question minus the answer prompt for independent reading, that one still is a choice. 3 to 5 books under each prompt have PDF in parentheses after them to indicate that I have a PDF version of that book. The idea is that you do not have to physically obtain a copy if you don't want to or just can't. However, you can still come to the school and check out books from the library. Mrs. Tackett has agreed to help us. Oh, there's a typo right there. Guess what? I get to fix it. Has agreed to help us, but she will be busy. She's checking out Chromebooks to other students, so please be kind and be patient with her. The idea, of course, of us not being at school is to limit contact, so just keep that in mind. You can still come to school to get materials, but that should be the only purpose for your being here. All the books listed are still options. You can read any of them as long as you can find a way to obtain it. So if you have a copy, you can get one from wherever, that's fine. If you can't, you do have 12 to 15 options as PDFs. And then if you can find your own PDF online of one that I couldn't find, great. It just has to be one of the ones on the prompts. And then you have an official assignment for you to make that selection by Friday the 20th. There's an actual assignment in Canvas where you will let me know what you've decided and give me a little information about it. So you're going to list the title, author, prompt, format, total number of pages, and I'm asking you to break this book down into 4 sections. So that's going to vary from book to book, but that way I can hold you accountable for being to a certain point. So this is just a quick example of what information you will submit to me. So it's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, prompt, format, just so I know I have an idea of what people are doing for this, how many pages there are, and then approximately what would it be if you broke it into 4 sections. So I'm going to show you some things on Canvas really quick so that I can be more clear. Maybe, hold on. There we go. So in Canvas, I'm going to go to the dashboard just to start fresh. You're looking for AP Lit. I've combined both courses, so that makes it nice. You will go to Files, and then Independent Reading. You can see your PDF options are right here, so all of the books I have PDFs for are listed, and I have quite a few that I was able to find, so you have choices. The prompts and books are listed here, and so we can look at that really quickly. Pretty much the same as always, got these prompts, and then the only thing I've added is I've listed if there's a PDF option, just so you can keep that in mind as you make your selection. But again, you can pick anything that's on here that you haven't already read as long as you can find a way to obtain a copy of it. So as you can see, there's lots of options for each prompt. And then we will start talking about this in just a minute. So there's another folder in here and we will get to it. So back to this. So I was going to show you the assignment. Sorry. I am definitely not a professional at this, so please be patient. So in here you can see that you have an assignment called Independent Reading Book Selection. Those same instructions that we just looked at are right here. It's just a text entry box. So you'll just submit that information to me and send it. Okay, now we can go back to this and talk about the actual assignment that you will work on for this. So obviously you read it, and then just to hold you accountable for actually reading it and making progress, because that's one of the criteria we've been given, is we need to show that you're doing things throughout. You're going to do 2 what we call summary and response assignments. This is something I've done in the past in AP. We haven't yet encountered it, so here you go. You will do one for the first quarter of the book, and then you will do another for the second quarter of the book. So basically, by the end of this time period, you will be halfway done with your book, and you will have done 2 of these assignments for those sections. There are instructions for how to complete this assignment. It's in files, independent reading, and then summary and response. It is called summary and response instructions, so we will look at that in just a minute. There's also a template just so you can make sure you get all the pieces. And then your first one's due on Tuesday, March 24th, and the second one's due that Friday. So I realize you have other things going on. I try to spread those out, but depending on what book you're reading, that's really not a lot of pages to that. And then after spring break, we'll review the situation and I will provide you with more instructions, just depending on where we're at that point. So that's kind of the overview of everything we're working on. Let me show you a few more things in Canvas just so that we are clear. So going back to files, independent reading, here are the things you need for the summary and response. So you've got the instructions that I talked about. I will show this to you in a moment. The template, part of this is, of course, summarizing, and so there's a handout on effective summarizing. And then levels of questioning, that should be a review. We did some of this with All Light We Cannot See, so we'll look at that again, but that should be mostly review. So there's all the files you need for that. While we're still in Canvas, you can see that you have assignments in here for both of those. So we'll just look at one of them. Similar directions, tells you where to find things. Just a reminder though, with Turnitin, I have to set a different date than the actual due date. So it's technically due for the 24th. It's listed differently for Turnitin, so it will accept late work. However, I did already send out that email about technical difficulties. Just refer to that if you have issues, and make sure that you're just being on top of it. Recognize that I can accommodate you, but I do need communication. So let me work with you that way. Okay, so summary and response instructions. For each quarter of your 3rd trimester independent reading, you will complete this assignment. It needs to be typed. Those are your criteria, and then it has 3 major headings, and this is why you'll use the template, and then all you have to do is fill it in. So the first thing you'll do is you will summarize, and we'll look at that in just a moment, using appropriate summary techniques. Refer to the handout. You will then respond to one of the following. You will do a contemplation response, or a retrospection response, or an introspection. And I'll let you read the details of how those are different from each other. But you're only responding in 3 sentences. This is not a super lengthy assignment. It's just some accountability for your reading and showing me that you're interacting with it. And then the last part is discussion. Of course, we're not having discussions because we're not in class, but I want you to practice that critical thinking and show me your depth of analysis. You need to write 2 questions. One can be a level 1 or 2, but a second question must be a level 3. So refer to that levels of questioning handout to help you with that. So going back up to your summary, what I expect for summarization is as follows. While reading, you are just make sure you understand it, make note of major points. Obviously, you can't write in all your texts, and so it's up to you how you go about this, but I would at least make notes. You know how to deal with a text by this point. Do what works for you so that you can interact with it. Then, this is the part that might be slightly new. So when you're actually writing the summary, start with a clear identification of basically tag, the type of work, the title, the author, the genre. And here's an example. In the feature article, 4 Kinds of Reading, the author Donald Hall explains his opinion about different types of reading, or if it's a specific chapter, or a set of chapters, things like that. Second thing you want to do is paraphrase. If you do copy, make sure that you only take what is necessary. and then of course quote it if it's an exact phrase. Use summarizing language. Remind your reader through the way you're writing that it is not an argumentative or an analysis type of writing. You are simply summarizing. And then never put any of your own ideas or opinions, kind of goes back to what I said, and then target your summary for approximately a quarter the length of the original. So if you read, 40 pages, that would look like 10-page summary if you go by this guideline. Do I really want a 10-page summary? No, I do not. This is just kind of a general guideline for shorter texts, so I'm not going to change it for as far as what's on the handout, but you can be reasonable. A couple of sentences per chapter would be very adequate, so just keep that in mind. Okay, and then the contemplation stuff's on the sheet already. The other thing, just a quick reminder, is your levels of questioning. So level 1, that's really basic stuff, and level 2, that's implied, but it's still not functioning on a larger scale yet. Your first question can be one of these two. Your second question has to be level 3. This is going beyond the text. You're trying to apply it to a larger context. You are working on an analysis and synthesis and an evaluation type of level. So you've got some examples there if you need a review. So that is your assignment for the next week and a half. Like I said, we'll reevaluate after spring break and figure out where we want to go next. I have a couple other things that I'm considering, not necessarily like work-wise, but just, kind of a unique way to go about doing pop-in poetry, other things that kind of just helped us stay connected during this time. So please email me if you have questions, but try to be independent first. Take care of yourself. Look at things, answer those questions with the materials I've provided, and then ask if you're still unsure. If you really need to meet with me about something, I'm working on my availability. I'm technically scheduled to be available the first half of the day, but we've been given the option to decide what our office hours are as far as how we go about that. So for now, just email me if you feel like we do need to meet in regards to something until I have a chance to figure out more details. But anyway, I will probably send you another video later in the week just to kind of check in, things like that in the announcement section of Canvas. But otherwise, pick a book and hopefully you can enjoy reading it while you've got, I don't want to say downtime, because we all know this is not exactly downtime, but during this unique time where we are away from school. So anyway, have a great day, and you will see me via video, I should say, in a couple days.